As one of priorities in 2021, government allocates 99 trillion rupiah for food security. Good afternoon, viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from the business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Wicky Adrian. This is Market Headlines. The government is continuously committed to encourage fiscal instruments in food security. The government has even allocated up to 99 trillion rupiah as efforts to maintain food security next year.
The government ensures that it doesn't forget the issue of food security in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic and national economic recovery. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati revealed that to maintain food security in the next year, the government has allocated budget of 99 trillion rupiah in 2021. The budget is expected to mitigate the possibility of a food crisis because FAO reminds the potential for a global food crisis. This was triggered by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected supply chain disruptions and world food logistics. So that the government still pays attention to the food security budget, which will be spread across various ministries. Even though agriculture, forestry, and fisheries are one of the sectors that continue to grow positively, even 20% annually.
Food security merupakan salah satu prioritas besar di dalam APBN 2021. 99 triliun sendiri akan dialokasikan yang akan merupakan belanja dari berbagai kementerian lembaga, tidak hanya Kementerian Pertanian atau Perikanan, namun juga kementerian di bidang public work atau pekerjaan umum dan irigasi, dan juga bahkan belanja melalui pemerintah daerah.
To support the agricultural sector, the Ministry of Finance is also committed to encouraging the availability of fertilizers with subsidies, whose budget reaches 29.7 trillion rupiah in 2021. The budget is given for fertilizer subsidies of 8.9 million tons. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
Minister of State-Owned Enterprises Erick Thohir stated that he will provide non-subsidized vaccines for the community, as many as 160 million doses.
The vaccines provided are approximately for 75 million Indonesians who would buy independently. Regarding the type of vaccine, it remains confidential, as it is still awaiting for the Minister Health decision. Erick Thohir, in a webinar session along with the Special Staff and Public Communications, Arya Sinulinga, among of the state-owned enterprises BOD, say that the provisions of the non-subsidized vaccine for 75 million people is done to guard against finding a damaged vaccine. So more than 10 to 15% of vaccine reserves are prepared for the available doses.
Kemarin pemerintah sudah menugaskan Kementerian BUMN nanti untuk membantu vaksin mandiri itu kurang lebih untuk 75 juta jiwa, nanti datanya ada, atau kira-kira 160 juta lebih dosis. Kenapa angkanya kok lebih tinggi dari 75? Karena tetap kita ada serep kurang lebih 10%-an.
In the process of distributing the vaccines, the ministry has appointed Bio Farma and Telkom Indonesia. Why Telkom Indonesia? It's because the process of distributing these vaccines will be carried out using a digital system in order to promote transparency and a prudence principle. Jakarta, Ricky Anwardi for IDX Channel.
Food resilience is when people have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food to live an active life. To achieve food resilience, government is about to extend the planting area so that more food can be cultivated.
In the midst of economic growth that has not yet fully recovered, food resilience is expected to encourage food's price stability. The Minister of Agriculture, Syahrul Yassin Limpo, said that the ministry has strategy to encourage food resilience even in emergency situations such as natural disasters.
Peningkatan kapasitas produksi khususnya cadangan-cadangan lahan yang kami siapkan, antara lain intensifikasi pada lahan rawa, ekstensifikasi pada lahan rawa, perluasan areal tanam khususnya jagung, bawang merah, dan cabai di beberapa tempat, kemudian peningkatan produksi gula, daging sapi, dan lain-lain, bawang putih. Ini strategi dari awal yang kita buat cara sambil jalan, MT1, MT2, ini menjadi bagian-bagian dari konsentrasi yang kita lakukan agar besok keterdadakan atau sesuatu yang bersifat bencana alam bisa kita tutupi dengan pendekatan CB1.
Indeed, 2021 is a tough year for government to help people to meet their dietary needs and are able to live active and healthy life through food resilience. From Jakarta, Rizka Ayu, IDX Channel.
Market Headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Kemajuan di dalam digital banking itu meningkat. Ini menunjukkan bahwa digitalisasi is here to stay.
Welcome back. The role of the agriculture sector as food provider is particularly relevant at the moment, given the rise of prominence of concerns over food security. In general, food security is defined as having reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. Note that this does not imply food sufficiency, as often implied in political debates. And all right, without further ado, let's see the agriculture sector contribution to GDP through the next graphic. This is contribution of agriculture sector to GDP. Trend-wise, from 2016 to 2019 keeps on decreasing from 13.5% to 13.2%. In 2017, in 2018, it was on the level of 12.8%. And in 2019, in the level of 12.7%. In recent years, however, there has been increasing concern about the declining contribution of the agriculture sector to gross domestic product, especially in developing countries like Indonesia. But then, agricultural sector continues to play an important role in the economy regardless of its declining share in GDP. The fact that the sector represents less than 12.7% of the economy does not provide the true picture of the sector's impact on the greater economy. It buys inputs from the manufacturing sector, provides raw materials for manufacturing and purchases a host of services. Therefore, how big is the impact of the sector then? In a way, we can assess it through the export performance. This is the data of agriculture export performance in 2020. In January 2020, it was recorded in the level of 300 million US dollar. The number is quite fluctuative, but recorded the lowest level in May 2020 in the level of 240 million US dollar. But the number also trend-wise keeps on increasing from June to October 2020. In October 2020, the agriculture export of Indonesia reached 420 million US dollar. We provide the data from Statistic Indonesia or BPS. And October is the record large one. This figure increased 1.26% compared to September 2020 and way up 23% compared to October 2020. And however, the contribution from the agricultural sector was still small, namely only 2.92% of Indonesia's total export in October 2020, which amounted to 14.29 billion US dollar. And we hope the sector can maintain its international competitiveness and resulting positive trade balance. And aside of export performance, let's talk about labor itself. Well, a long time ago, Indonesia was well known for its agriculture sector. Moreover, about the workers, but now since there are more jobs exist, the question is becoming farmers still popular as it was? The answer is in the next graphic. This is workforce in agriculture sector. The number keeps on decreasing. The lowest one is on the level of 38.3 million people in 2016, but the number was increased to the level of 39.7 million people in 2017. Since then, it is still recording the decreasing trend. In 2018, in the level of 38.7 million people, in 2019, and 38.1 million people. And the trend is declining significantly. One of the facts that makes the agricultural sector less attractive to people is because the agricultural sector is commonly associated with low income and poverty. Sadly, this cannot be denied if seen from the trend of farmer exchange rate for past year. It was only around 99 to 104 points. But then during May to June, the rate was only 99 points. It means that the agricultural output has not been able to meet the needs of agricultural businesses and the needs of farmer households. This is due to the decline in the price of agricultural products that is greater than the decline in prices for household needs and for farmers' business needs. And as we are fast moving in era, and there are many job varieties, commonly farmers are people who already jumped into the field for a long time ago. Therefore, it is mainly dominated by the elders. And to get more details, let's see age proportion of agricultural workers in Indonesia through the next graphic. So this is the age proportion of agricultural workers from 45 to 55, as much as 28%. It holds the majority of the age proportion. Meantime, from 35 to 44, it was 24%, or actually 55 to 64% in the level of 22%, and 14% above 65%, and 25 to 34%, or 25 to 34 is on the level of 11%. Meantime, below 25 is under 1%. And currently, the farmer profession is still dominated by those aged 45 years and over. The percentage reaches 28.2% as the largest producer of agricultural commodities. Indonesia has a minimum number of young farmers, which is 10.6%. This is a concern for the government, including stakeholders in the agricultural sector. The reason is, in order to realize sustainable and competitive agriculture, the role of young people must be present. In addition, the rapid development of technology and agricultural machine tools has made business access even wider. We can say that this is huge opportunity. This opportunity can also be used by the community to apply the concept of family farming by making narrow land and house yards as hydroponic lands. In the end, boosting agriculture sector will not only be able to accommodate the workforce and economy recovery, but will also be able to create national geopolitical stability. Therefore, we hope nothing but the best for Indonesian agriculture sector. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.
Baik saja tidak cukup, kita harus betul-betul memahami lingkungan bisnis global yang lebih baik, plus di dalam negerinya sosiologi dan antropologi supaya totalitas kita membantu petani secara efektif.
Kita memang ketahanan pangan, tetapi kita menuju ke kedaulatan pangan.
Ada shadow power yang mendikte pembangunan sektor pertanian bukan oleh Kementerian Pertanian.
Nama saya Devisa Novel, jabatan saat ini di IDX Channel adalah sebagai produser dan sekaligus presenter program yang dibawakan saat ini dengan nama IDX Second Session Closing, terkait juga dengan kondisi capital market Indonesia dan perkembangannya dari waktu ke waktu. Dan saya sangat senang untuk belajar dan berkecimpung di berita ekonomi, khususnya di capital market.
We're in the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. Earlier today, JCI was opened at the level of 5,541.42. Then approaching the closing time of the session, the index was on the level of 5,586.26. Then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 5,588.83. In short, JCI went up 0.56%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, these are the key highlights from today's trading session. HMSP went up 5.05% to the level of 1,560 rupiah per share. PTBA went up 5.69% to the level of 2,230 rupiah per share. Datu went up 4.2% to the level of 1,240 rupiah per share. Asri went up 29.9% to the level of 252 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got Pegas went down 2.73% to the level of 1,355 rupiah per share. Astra International went down 0.87% to the level of 5,725 rupiah per share. Boga went down 0.75% to the level of 1,330 rupiah per share. And MDKA went down 0.52% to the level of 8,875 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,167 rupiah, was also showing weakening trend. Towards US dollar was closed at the level of 14,144. In the summary, rupiah went down 0.33%. To facilitate the delivery of behavior change messages to all regions of Indonesia, the COVID-19 Task Force collaborates with the Ministry of Education and Culture to translate the behavior change guidebook in various regional languages.
To facilitate the delivery of behavior change message to all regions of Indonesia, the Task Force for Handling COVID-19 in the field of behavior change collaborates with the Ministry of Education and Culture to translate the behavior change guidebook in various regional languages. Head of Behavior Change for the COVID-19 Handling Task Force, Dr. Sony Hari explained why this behavior change guide needs to be translated into local language.
Kami mengamati juga ternyata banyak sekali istilah-istilah asing Jadi pandemi sendiri kan dari kata pandemik di bahasa Inggris. Lalu virus kan virus sebenarnya dalam bahasa Inggris juga. Belum lagi protokol kesehatan. Kata protokol itu juga bahasa Inggris gitu kan. Terus juga banyak lah ya. Comorbid, istilah itu kan istilah bahasa Inggris juga. Jadi banyak sekali istilah bahasa Inggris.
He stated that this translation doesn't simply translate word for word, but provides the most appropriate meaning with the most appropriate words in the regional term, and so far this behavior change guidelines book has been translated into 74 regional languages. From Jakarta, Fajar Wayong for IDX Channel.
And the news close our market lines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic business and capital market channel. And before saying goodbye, I would like to remind you on what Mom said. Please do comply with health protocol by using face mask, physical distancing, and avoiding crowd. Also washing your hands often with soap through overflowing water. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.